I don't need these. Good morning, everyone. We are so excited that you've joined us today. We'd like to welcome you to our Ohio Business Matchmaker webinar training. We are always excited about doing these trainings. We've been doing them for over a month now, and we have a few more weeks to go. So we are always excited and looking forward to doing these on Wednesdays. My name is Shonda Harris. I'm a business opportunity specialist with the Columbus District Office Small Business Administration, and I will be facilitating today's webinar. For today's session, we will be discussing and going over how to do business with GSA and also how to apply getting on a GSA schedule. So we are always excited and thrilled that you as a small business, or if you're looking to start your own business, we're always excited that you've joined us for these sessions as we continue in our efforts to help and support small businesses on their journeys to navigate as it relates to government contracting, doing business with either the federal government, the state, the city, or the county. Today's session is focused more on the federal government aspect. Now, for those of you that may be new to these webinar trainings or new to some of the programs that we offer, the Ohio Business Matchmaker is one of our signature contracting events that we've been doing for about 17 years. And it is a very vital and integral part that connects, that helps Ohio small businesses to connect with government agencies and prime contractors to foster opportunities for growth and collaboration. And they're able to connect with government entities at the federal level, state, city, county, and municipality sectors. Now, we provide training and networking opportunities and direct access to procurement opportunities that can help you as a small business to succeed and to ultimately be competitive in the landscape of government contracting. That is kind of the essence of why we put on this event and also some of the other trainings that we do. So specifically, today's webinar and this webinar series is designed to help you as a small business to kind of give you value add and insight into being effective as it relates to engaging with buyers and lenders in the government contracting space. So before we get into today's session, we are always grateful that we're able to put on this webinar series and other trainings and outreach events that we do with wonderful organizations and partners and resources. And one of those is the Ohio Business, one of those is the Apex Accelerator. So we are always grateful to have them as a resource partner. And actually, they can assist you if you're new to government contracting. It's a great resource that maybe can assist you along your journey. So we're going to allow the statewide manager, Mr. Joseph Scott, to go ahead to give you a little bit of overview of who Apex Accelerator, the program is, and some of the things that they're able to do. Joey?
Shonda. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you this morning. As you heard, I'm Joey Scott. I'm the statewide director for the Ohio Apex Accelerator, and very, very glad to be collaborating with SBA and small business development centers and all of our other partners on the Ohio Business Matchmaker and these webinars that we've been hosting for the past few weeks leading up to the event. So hopefully you are familiar with the Apex Accelerator by now, but if you are not, let me give you a brief overview of who we are and what we do. So we are funded in part by the Department of Defense and State of Ohio to help businesses with all things government contracting. So I like to put our services into 3 buckets: becoming procurement ready, experiencing procurement success, and staying in the government marketplace. So that first bucket is, really focused on helping companies position themselves for success, helping you through entity registrations like the System for Award Management, if you're looking at state opportunities, every state has their own procurement system. In Ohio, it's called Ohio Buys. So you want to make sure you're set up as a supplier there. And then, helping you focus on marketing, developing your capability statement so you can convey your past performance and core competencies to potential government buyers. We can also help you understand agency buying habits and history. So we have some databases that we can help run reports so you can see what an agency is buying, how they're buying it, how frequently, and all the details that you would want to see there. And then that helps you better prepare for events, especially like the matchmaker, so that you can go into meeting with a buyer with a bit of information at your disposal. And then locating opportunities, we have matchmaking events and other networking opportunities all throughout the year, different training events. We also have a daily bid match program that brings opportunities to your inbox based on different keywords like you would in a Google search. Our second bucket here, procurement success. So once you found an opportunity, we can review it with you, review your proposal with you. The only thing we cannot do is write a proposal on your behalf. We are not an agent of your company, so we cannot do that. However, we can critique your proposal and help you make it as competitive and responsive as possible. We can also talk strategy and how leveraging one win into multiple wins, and looking at other agencies at federal, state, local level. And then our third bucket here, staying in procurement, is kind of catch-all of various items such as helping you maintain compliance with things such as needing to renew your SAM registration annually, or looking at more complex topics such as cybersecurity requirements, especially if you are a defense contractor. We can also help you look at other government customers, as I said, and innovation opportunities through the Small Business Innovation Research Program. Federal funders ask us to educate on different topic areas, such as those that you see here, and then we host trainings all throughout the year that we try to make relevant to our clients and the ever-changing government landscape. Here in Ohio, we also like to collaborate. So we have the Ohio Procurement Internship Program that we partner with the Ohio Department of Development and a few universities on. And so that cohort for this year is just wrapped up. But if it's something that you're interested in learning more about, please reach out and keep it in mind for next year. Little overview is, we have university partners at YSU and Ohio University who provide training to the students, and then those students get matched up with companies in the summer for a 12-week internship. Companies get, incentivized by partial reimbursement of the intern wages, as well as getting to leverage the intern's experience and knowledge. To date, we've had a lot of students go through the program, really proud of it, but we're not here to talk about that. Another program to give you a little teaser on is the Ohio Cybersecurity Program. If you're able to make our webinar this afternoon, you will hear more about this, as the manager for this program will be on our cybersecurity panel this afternoon. But it's all about helping companies get access to some cybersecurity consulting for free. I don't want to steal the thunder of our presenter this afternoon, so I'll skip through that. As a recap, Apex Accelerators, we are here every step of the way to assist you. Wherever you are at in the process, we can assist. And then we're very proud of our clients. Last year, our clients won over $1.6 billion of contracts, most of which were federal prime contracts. So very proud and can't wait to see what our clients do this year. And then I always like to wrap up with, there is an Apex Accelerator near you, whether you're in Ohio or outside of the state. We're happy to connect you with your local counselor so that they can sit down with you one-on-one, talk through all things government contracting. So with that, I thank you for your brief moment of time here, and I will turn it back over to Shonda.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Joey. And again, you're a small business on today's webinar. And again, if you're new, if you're just getting started and doing business with the government, Apex Accelerator is a great resource that can help you at any age in your business, new startup, a few years or even more seasoned, or any stage of development. And I love the map that he provided. So definitely reach out to your Apex Accelerator if you hear something today and you have questions or you need a little bit more insight. With that said, today's session, we are really honored to be able to work with another agency resource partner, General Services Administration. And we are grateful to have Ms. Kimberly Hutchinson, who serves as a small business specialist in the Office of Small Disadvantaged Business Utilization, also known as, here in government, we use a lot of acronyms, also known as the OSDBU office, and that is for GSA Great Lakes Region number 5. And so Kimberly brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise as it relates to doing business with GSA. And so today's topic, giving you an overview and some of the things that they do with GSA and how you may be able to get engaged and find opportunities with their organization. And before we get started, before I hand it over to Kimberly, just a couple of housekeeping items. Today's session is being recorded, and the recording link and the slides, a PDF of the slides, there will be a link on the Ohio Business Matchmaker website. So where you went to register, you can go to the same place, and at the bottom of the description of the webinar, there will be a link for both the recording and then also for the PDF slides. So you can access those. And then if you do have a question, if you can pull up the chat, not the Q&A, but if you can pull up the webinar chat, some of you have already accessed that, and go ahead and type your question in. I believe there will be somebody that can kind of answer those. And then if it doesn't get answered, we'll answer it at the very end. And I believe that's it. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Miss Kimberly Hutchinson, doing business with GSA. Take it away, Kimberly.
Oh, great. Thank you so much, Shonda, for the introduction. Good morning, everyone. As Shonda shared, my name is Kimberly Hutchinson, and I am a small business specialist with the United States General Services Administration, Office of Small and Disadvantaged Business, commonly referred to as OSDBU. I work in the Great Lakes Region 5 office, which covers the states of Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Ohio, and Wisconsin. And it is my pleasure to be here and share a little information about GSA. Our regional OSDBU team lead, Malethia Green, is also joining this webinar. But before we get started, I would like to share a brief note. The information we are providing today reflects the most current guidance available. However, policies, regulations, and procedures may change over time. To ensure you have the latest details, we encourage you to stay informed through official GSA and government channels. Our goal is to provide you with the most accurate information as of today, and we appreciate your understanding as updates arise. Next slide, please. Here's the agenda for my presentation. I will start with an introduction to the agency, then talk about OSDBU, who we are and what we do. I will provide an overview of GSA's 2 main business lines, PBS and FAST. Then I will review what GSA buys and does not buy, and illustrate who are GSA's customers. I will provide some information about the GSA e-library system as it relates to finding subcontracting opportunities, and talk about other paths to selling to the government. Now, there are some additional GSA e-tools that I'm going to review and explain how they can help you. However, I'm not going to do a deep dive or live walkthrough of any of the e-tools because our office is offering a GSA e-tools webinar on Wednesday, May 7, 2025 from 10 a.m. through 11 a.m. Central Time, in which we will offer a live demonstration of how to use GSA e-tools and how they can help small businesses. The e-tools that I will briefly discuss include the System for Award Management, the GSA Forecast of Contracting Opportunities, the Federal Procurement Data System, and the Schedule Sales Query Plus. Then I'll take a look at usaspending.gov and share small business resources and training. Then I'll wrap it up with a quick recap, and if we have time, Q&A. Next slide, please. Now, GSA is a federal civilian agency, and this slide gives you a snapshot about GSA and our mission. Our mission is to deliver value and savings in real estate, acquisition technology, and other mission-supported services across the federal government. We provide workplaces by constructing, managing, preserving government buildings, and leasing and managing commercial real estate. GSA is one of the federal government's largest buyers in contracts for billions of dollars worth of products and services for other federal civilian agencies and DoD customers worldwide. Our policies promote management best practices and efficient government operations. Our acquisition solutions supply federal purchasers with cost-effective, high-quality products and services from commercial vendors. We help keep the nation safe by providing tools, equipment, and non-tactical vehicles to the U.S. military. We also provide state and local governments with law enforcement, firefighting, and rescue equipment, as well as disaster recovery products and services. We lead the way in sustainable building design, construction, retrofit, and sustainable operations and maintenance. We are building a 21st century government that procures and manages technology solutions in smart, secure, and affordable ways. We support reductions in federal government real estate costs and increases in workplace efficiencies by strategically integrating space, people, and technology solutions customized to different work needs. So, what does all of this mean to a small business? Well, GSA serves the same customer agencies you probably want to do business with or are marketing to. So if you are interested in selling to the federal government, it may be worth your time to explore what GSA has to offer. To learn more about GSA's mission, policies, budget, and performance, go to gsa.gov. Next slide, please. Now, the federal government is mandated to provide an array of programs and services, especially for small businesses. In GSA, these are coordinated and overseen by the Office of Small and Disadvantaged Business Utilization. We oversee the small business programs and provide counseling to small businesses on how to do business with GSA. We promote increased access to GSA's nationwide procurement opportunities by working with our acquisition workforce. We monitor and implement small business policies and manage a range of programs mandated by law. The GSA Ostabu office has resources that connect small businesses to in-person and online training, counseling, procurement opportunities, and more. But the most important thing that I want you to take away from this slide is that GSA Ostabu should be your first point of contact for information on how to do business with the agency or competing for federal procurement contracts or for any small business questions or concerns. Next slide, please. GSA is organized into 11 regions that provide centralized procurement of products, services, and facilities for federal government offices around the world. The most important thing I want you to take away from this slide is that there are small business specialists in each region. If you are looking to do business outside of Region 5, you can visit the gsa.gov website to find a GSA small business specialist in the geographical area where you want to do business in. Next slide, please. Here is the contact information to reach me or Maya. To learn more about Region 5 OSDBU, again, please visit our regional small business site. And the link is here on this slide. Next slide, please. Now, GSA is made up of two components which offer contract opportunities. We have our Public Building Service, also known as PBS, and our Federal Acquisition Services, also known as FAS. GSA and PBS lead the way in green building design, construction, retrofit, sustainable operations, and maintenance. GSA is considered the government's landlord. GSA PBS owns or leases an inventory of more than 8,800 assets. I got to update that on the slide. It maintains over 359 million square feet of owned and leased workspace for approximately 1.1 million federal employees. It preserves more than 500 historic properties. So if you offer services in construction, maintenance, building operations, leasing, or other related construction services, it may be in your best benefit to visit the GSA PBS website shown on this slide. The FAS offers access to a wide variety of contract opportunities. Their contract vehicles offer billions of dollars worth of products, services, and facilities that federal agencies need to serve the public. There is always an open solicitation available for you to become an industry partner, helping GSA supply federal agencies with high quality products and services. FAST uses vehicles such as the Multiple Award Schedule, also known as MAS, which our next presenter, Jane, will cover in her presentation. But to learn more about FAST, please visit the GSA website shown on this slide. Next slide, please. Okay, so here we have a short list of the products and services GSA procures through PBS and FAS. Now, this is not a comprehensive list or in any order. GSA contract opportunities are typically advertised under contract opportunities on the sam.gov website. You can also learn about upcoming GSA procurement opportunities by reviewing our agency procurement forecast on the acquisition.gov website. On this slide, I don't want you to miss that through our FAST service, if you see in the column for FAST, down at the bottom, you see gsaauctions.gov. I don't want you to miss that through the FAST service, GSA does not only carry out the Multiple Award Schedule program, where federal, state, local, tribal governments, and other eligible buyers get commercial products, services, and other solutions that give good prices. But FAST also auction off real estate, furniture, computers, and much more. So if you are interested in learning more about GSA auctions, you can click the link on this slide or visit the gsa.gov landing page and then search for auctions, because I don't think a lot of small businesses know how the GSA auctions can benefit their small business. They have auctions for furniture. So if you're a small business and you're a new startup, you may not have the funds to for furniture or chairs or computers. So through our GSA auctions program, you can probably pick up some of those items that are could be very useful in your small business. Next slide, please. So this slide shows what PBS does not buy. Now, here is the short list of products and services we do not buy. We do not direct buy building and construction materials or products. These materials are incorporated into service contracts. GSA regions do not often purchase information technology, or computer equipment. These items and IT services are purchased by GSA National Office on an enterprise-wide basis. We're just not funded for these items. And finally, while the Great Lakes region does buy broker services, we compete for orders against the national broker contract that is contracted by the GSA National Office. Next slide, please. So this slide just shows who GSA customers are, which includes DOD and all the federal civilian agencies, state and local governments, as well as tribal entities. In FAST, one of the largest ways we reach our customers is through our multiple award schedule and other IDIQ contracts. So this is really what makes GSA so special and what sets us apart from other federal agencies. So whether it's in PBS or FAST, GSA's mission is to ensure that agencies can focus on their mission. Next slide, please. Okay, so now with this slide, GSA offers a suite of integrated e-tools to make the acquisition process more efficient for small businesses to gain an advantage in achieving acquisition efficiency. The next couple of slides will highlight a variety of e-tools you can use to quickly and easily perform market research, respond to requests for quotes, gain knowledge about accessing subcontract opportunities, and more. I'm going to start with GSA eLibrary. So GSA eLibrary helps contracting professionals research and identify commercial businesses that provide products and services through GSA and VA contracts. But small businesses can use GSA eLibrary to determine if your next code is being offered through the GSA mass contract. This site should be used when considering prime or subcontracting opportunities through the GSA Schedule program. As noted on this slide, you can search numerous ways by using the search box, and you may use terms related to the product or service you are looking for. Once you find the schedule, you will be able to find a complete list of contractors available. This can be used as market research or to reach out to contractors for potential subcontracting opportunities. You can also view the schedule special item number or SIN categories by selecting a quick search on the upper right corner, and you can see that on the slide. This will provide a drop down of each of the main categories, okay? So next slide, please. This continues the GSA eLibrary, and I just want to say that GSA eLibrary is a great search tool for your GSA schedule questions and market research. In short, the two most important things I want you to remember about GSA eLibrary is number one, you can use this tool to find contract details of current schedule holders or for your market research. And two, you can use this product to identify current schedule contract holders for possible subcontractor work. Next slide, please. Other paths to selling to the government. Well, there are multiple ways to partner with other contractors to maximize your chances to sell to GSA, such as through subcontracting, joint venture, or contractor team arrangements. GSA offers a nationwide list of large prime contractors who have received federal contracts of over $750,000 for products and services or $1.5 million for construction contracts. These opportunities may have subcontracting opportunities. The GSA subcontracting directory, which is a snapshot on this slide, is published as an aid to small business concerns seeking subcontracting opportunities with GSA prime contractors. With the GSA subcontracting directory, you can filter the opportunities by next codes or the prime contractor's headquarters, location, or by state where the work is being performed. You do not have to hold a GSA schedule contract with GSA to be a subcontractor. And you may be able to be a regional subcontractor for other than small business or small businesses that currently has a GSA schedule. So just keep that in mind. And other ways to find subcontracting opportunities can be found on the SBA website. If you have questions about GSA subcontracting directory, please reach out to me or Maya. Otherwise, your Apex Accelerated Counselor or SBA Business Opportunity Specialist can help you with finding small business subcontracting opportunities. Next slide, please. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the System for Award Management or SAM.gov, it is an official website of the U.S. government. There is no cost to use SAM.gov. SAM.gov serves as the single government point of entry for federal government procurement opportunities of more than $25,000. Current requirements that we need are posted there. SAM.gov is also used for registering to do business with the U.S. government, listing a comprehensive database of all your major government contract opportunities, contract awards, performance reporting, contract data, special notices, pre-solicitation notices, industry days, requests for information, and sources sought notices, subcontracting opportunities, surplus property sales, foreign business opportunities with the federal government, and so much more. So you can see SAM.gov is a very essential system for working within the federal government. With that said, I encourage you to respond to applicable sources, sought notices, requests for information, pre-solicitations, and solicitations that we have according to the instructions for each requirement. If you need help with the SAM.gov system, the Federal Service Desk at F as in Frank, D as in Desk, S as in Service.gov is available to assist you, as well as your Apex Accelerator counselors. Next slide, please. Okay, so we're halfway finished. This is the forecast tool, which focuses on increasing small business awareness of potential prime contract and subcontracting opportunities. The goal of this tool is to provide a nationwide dashboard of upcoming federal contracting opportunities, so vendors can be on the lookout for potential contracting opportunities earlier in the process. Keep in mind, all projected procurements are subject to revision or cancellation. Final decisions on the extent of competition, small business participation, estimated value, or any aspect of the procurement are made if or when a solicitation is posted to SAM.gov. Forecast data is for planning purposes only and is not a commitment by the agency to purchase the described products or services. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is a forecast of contracting opportunities continue. And this slide just shows with this tool, small businesses can now easily sort through forecasted contracting data by agency, next code, place of performance. For example, if you only want to see things in the Ohio area, This you could search just for place of performance. You can also search for project solicitation quarter based on the acquisition strategy. For example, if you are only looking for set aside opportunities and contract award status, you can filter through the forecast tool that way. And of course, you can download your results to a Microsoft Excel document. So, in short, the goal of the forecast tool is to help GSA and other federal agencies easily communicate information around upcoming potential contracting opportunities. Next slide, please. So this slide is to show that typically each opportunity in the forecast tool includes a variety of information about the potential opportunity record. For example, on this slide, you can see the acquisition strategy, the award status, and also it has the point of contact you should reach out to with any questions or concerns regarding any planned procurement. So that's a lot of good information that you can get in the forecast tool. Next slide, please. Okay, so other agency forecast. The most important thing that I want you to take away from this slide is that each federal agency is required to post their forecasted opportunities. So be sure to review other agency forecasts located at the website shown on this slide at acquisition.gov or on the agency's website to see all opportunities that are out there. Okay, so the next slide, please. The Federal Procurement Data System is a free, real-time, comprehensive web-based tool that serves as the authoritative source for agencies to report contract actions. As a minimum, agencies are required to report in FPDS contract actions over the micro purchase threshold. Regardless of the solicitation process used, and agencies must report any modification to these contract actions that change previously reported contract action data, regardless of dollar amount. The FPDS offers public users unprecedented access to the spending patterns of the federal government at no cost. To learn more about what is reportable to PDS, please reference the Federal Acquisition Regulation, which is FAR, and it's in FAR 4.6. Next slide, please. Okay, so to use the FPDS system, all you need to do is register and you will be able to run various types of reports for contracts and every modification to that contract, regardless of dollar amount. You can use FPDS for market research to search for your next code or keyword. It will provide you with the top 10 agencies that purchase your products or services, as well as the top 10 companies that purchase them from. This is a real-time data system, so everything that was awarded yesterday in the federal government will show up today. So once you get the top 10 agencies that purchase what you sell, you can market your company to them directly. You can also reach out to the top 10 companies that the federal government purchases from to market yourself to them directly for subcontracting opportunities. So the FPDS system is a very powerful marketing tool Um, and I would recommend that you keep that system in your toolbox. Next slide, please. Okay, so there's a lot of resources available to you if you have questions or need help with FPDS, such as your Apex Accelerated Counselor, your regional OSDBU Small Business Specialist, or the Federal Service Desk. And of course, as you can see on this slide, uh, FPDS has their own help desk. Next slide, please. Here is this slide shows an example of the SSQ Plus tool. Now, FAST's Acquisition Oversight Division developed this tool, which can help small businesses by providing valuable market research data, including sales figures, industry trends, and information on small business set-asides, enabling them to make informed decisions and potentially win more contracts. Other GSA tools can help you know what the government is buying. But with the SSQ Plus tool, you can see how your company stacks up compared to other vendors on the same schedule, how their sales compare to the competition overall, and how data can be leveraged to improve business practices and take advantage of new opportunities. So SSQ is a very powerful tool, a marketing research tool. Okay. Next slide, please. USA Spending. Now here is a snapshot of the USA Spending website. This is another tool that can be used for conducting marketing analysis. It is a government source for data on federal grants, contracts, loans, and other financial assistance. This website enables searching of federal awards from FY 2008 to present, and you can search by state, congressional district, county, and zip code. So you can really zoom into a geographical area to really find out where the federal government is spending its money. Okay. This site provides tools for examining a broad picture of federal spending obligations by categories, which include budget and object class function. Now, you're probably wondering, what is budget function? Budget function refers to the major purpose that the spending serves, such as Social Security, Medicare, and national defense. Object class function, on the other hand, refers to the type of item of service purchased by the federal grants, contracts, and personal compensation and benefits. Okay, so you can visit the USA Spending site to navigate through that tool. And if you have any, questions or need any assistance, again, the OSBU specialists are available, as well as your Apex Accelerated Counselor. Next slide, please. So with all that GSA is doing to work with small businesses, we can't forget our advocacy partners who are hosting events, inviting us to the table, and helping us to help small businesses. Of course, these partners include SBA and Apex Accelerators, but I also want to acknowledge the Chambers of Commerce, Minority Business Development Centers, and the large prime contractors, because they have opportunities for small businesses as well. So we just want to give them a little snap or a little clap to thank them. And I just encourage you to continue to build relationships with them by getting to know all the opportunities, services, and resources they have waiting for you. Next slide, please. So you can find GSA OSDBU on X, LinkedIn, and GSA Interact. GSA Interact is this website that has different communities in it, and everything the GSA is involved with or manages. They have a community that you can join. They have a community that you can join for the multiple award schedules. They have a small business community. They have an IT community. So you can explore the GSA Interact to stay informed by joining some of those communities for updates and information sharing. You can visit the gsa.gov landing page to find GSA events. And there's something else that I want to mention before closing, and that is that we all know that there are individuals already targeting small businesses with scams and fraud. So just please protect yourself, your family, and your business by being aware of potential scams. Now, this slide shows official government websites, and I would like to also share that there's a website, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency website, where and that provides cyber guidance for small businesses. So you may want to check, that website out. Next slide, please. So this is a slide that's just going to recap of what I covered in my presentation. I started off with the introduction to the agency. Then I talked about OSDBU, who we are and what we do, followed by an overview of GSA's two main business lines, PBS and FAST. I also reviewed what GSA buys and does not buy and showed you who are GSA's customers. I talked about the GSA e-library system regarding identifying subcontracting opportunities and also covered other paths to selling to the federal government. I provided information about GSA e-tools, including SAM.gov, the GSA forecast tool, FPDS, and the Sales Query Plus, and how those GSA e-tools can help small businesses. In addition, I provided information about the usaspending.gov site and share small business and training resources. Now, as we wrap up, I want to remind everyone that the information we share today reflects the most current guidance available. However, policies, regulations, and procedures may evolve over time. To stay informed, we encourage you to check government channels mentioned here today for the latest updates. Our goal is always to provide you with the most accurate information, and we appreciate your understanding as things continue to develop. For questions or on any GSA matters, please contact press@gsa.gov. Thank you for your time. Please email me or our team lead, Maya Green, if you have any additional follow-up questions from my presentation. So this concludes my presentation, and I hope I was able to share something you can take away and found useful. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kimberly. One of the things I love when the agencies present, even though I'm familiar with GSA, I know some of the firms I work with have contracts through them, but I always learn something. And so it is just, we're always grateful for the agencies. So if anybody, I know there have been some questions in the chat, they've really been more for about the recording link and the presentations. But I do see one question, and it looked like Mylethea did provide a response, but I just want to bring clarity. Is it Regimile? Regimile Renee? I believe it was, your question was, do you have to have a specific computer to interact or interface with I believe the Ohio Apex accelerators? And so I think Mylethea said that no, you don't. But if I could ask Joey, if you can put in the chat, if you are in Regimile in Ohio, during Joey's overview, he did have a map of the state of Ohio where all of the different Apex Accelerator locations were. But I know Joey's coming on now, but if you can put in the chat, Joey, the link for the Apex Accelerator for the state one so that they can access, or just explain how somebody can get in touch with a counselor in their particular area.
Certainly. So, and I know, Renee, we've had email conversations before. We're getting her connected to her local counselor. But yeah, so if you are in Ohio, I will put the link in the chat. Basically, it's as simple as completing a request for counseling link. And then once we have your information, our local counselor in your area will follow up directly with you. If you're not in Ohio, please reach out or go to our national website pages. So we're funded in part by the Department of Defense. They have an Apex Accelerator website where you can find your local Apex Accelerator. Also, our national organization, the National Apex Accelerator Alliance, has a listing of all of the Apexes across the country as well. So there are multiple resources for finding your Apex Accelerator. The easiest one, reach out to me. I'll get you introduced to your local Apex. But that is kind of the overview. I will put the link in the chat to our website and to the request for counseling link. As far as resources, our counselors are well equipped to sit down with you one-on-one, help you conduct any of the research through GSA that you heard Kimberly mention. We have some databases for our staff that can do some bit more digging. But I was reading through the chat and trying to understand that question as well. All of the databases that you saw today and referenced by GSA are publicly available. Most federal information is publicly available and free to access. There are paid databases that cost a lot of money. That's a business decision. But again, the Apex Accelerator, we have some access to some databases beyond what you saw here today, and we can run those reports and get that out to you. And all of our services are free and confidential as well. So I hope that answers the question a bit more.
Wonderful. Again, thank you so much, Kimberly. And if there are no more questions relating to Kimberly's presentation as it relates to doing business with GSA, and as we said, again, with today's presentation and then the previous presentations, they will be uploaded to the website. I do know somebody had asked specifically about the certifications. And so actually I was the presenter for the federal presentations, and I had some computer issues that day, and I still need to update my slides. So I'll get those updated and posted to the website, but you can find all of the presentations for the previous websites on the website. I think they list the latest websites at the top, and then the older ones are at the bottom. If you don't see one, you can email me. We can get that to you, but I believe all of them are there. I know the one that I need to update. I don't know about the states. I think Stacy Cornett may have sent hers, but I can check. If she didn't, we'll make sure we'll get that posted, and we get all of those uploaded. Today's presentation, it may take typically about 48 hours. So by Friday or Monday, it should be uploaded to the website. So again, we are grateful for GSA and all the wonderful information. Definitely you want to make sure that you follow up with them, and the Osgood office, their office can really help you navigate within the agency and assist you. And if you need additional assistance beyond that, the Apex Accelerator can also help you with that.
Absolutely. Shonda, we have a couple questions in the chat, in the Q&A, if I may read them off real quick.
Oh, go right ahead. Thank you, Joey.
Absolutely. So is the Ohio Military Reserve utilizing this system? I presume they mean GSA. And maybe you could speak to that a little bit more broadly about what agencies can buy off the GSA schedule.
Is that question for me?
Yes. Oh, you know it, yes.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Okay, so just about all agencies can buy off of the GSA schedules. We cannot tell the agencies, to use the federal supply schedule program, but just about all the federal agencies, they do buy through the GSA schedules program, as well as state and local um, municipalities, and also tribal organizations. So yes, the GSA schedules is a contracting vehicle that is available to all procurement professionals in all of the federal agencies government-wide.
Awesome. And then if once you get on a schedule, or you're applying for one, how long does it take to receive a contract after submission, to get on schedule?
Well, generally it takes about 6 to 12 months. But that may change because there is a lot of uh, activity and restructuring that is occurring within the federal government at the moment. So, but typically it usually takes about 6 to 12 months for someone to go through the whole mass process. And that may also be something that Jane is going to cover in her presentation in a few minutes.
Sure it is. She has helped many a client through the GSA schedule application.
And if I can add as a caveat, even if you do get on a GSA schedule, just because you have one doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be guaranteed a contract. You still have to pursue and, market that GSA schedule to the federal agencies and work with them. But you're not guaranteed that you will get a contract from that just because you're on one. So that also is another caveat that you have to deal with. Yeah, but it's a reality. It's a reality. All right.
Okay. I think two things real quick before we transition, if I may. So I just saw somebody put in the chat, when is the next presentation? If you will go to the Ohio Business Matchmaker website, you can see a listing of all of the webinars, past, present, and upcoming. Each week, we've been doing this series. There's one at 10 o'clock and one at 1 p.m. So today's next webinar will start promptly at 1 p.m. That's focused on cybersecurity and innovation. But again, please go check out the Ohio Business Matchmaker website. That is your one-stop shop for all of these webinars, past, present, and future. And then last but not least, and I don't know if Kimberly and Maya, if you can speak to this, but you mentioned that there's a lot going on. There's a lot of changes. GSA has been in the news a lot about, potentially taking on, more responsibility. Is that something that you could speak to, or I know that's a developing situation, so that's entirely fine if you cannot speak to that.
Yes, thanks for that question, Joey. At the moment, we cannot share any information, but also we don't have that information. So we don't know at the moment. And I also would like to add, I just want to remind everyone that the information we share today reflects the most current guidance available. However, policies, regulations, and procedures may evolve over time. To stay informed, we encourage you to check gsa.gov. You can go directly to Region 5 for information and other government channels mentioned here today for latest updates. Our goal is always to provide you with the most accurate information, and we appreciate your understanding as things continue to develop. So thank you. Mm-hmm.
Perfect response and perfect, good way to kind of segue into our next session. Thank you so much, Kimberly. Thank you so much, Mylitha. We do appreciate that. And actually what she said kind of speaks to probably a lot of agencies within the government. So thank you for that. All right. So the first half of our training today, we wanted to focus on GSA as an agency so that you have an overview about who GSA is as an agency and some of the things that they do. And as you can see that they provide a lot, they have a lot within their two divisions. But then also we did want to give you a little bit more information as it relates to applying, how to apply to get on a GSA schedule. Now, this second part of the training is not going to be in-depth. It's going to answer every question, but another great overview, kind of a 10,000 foot view of how to apply and get on a GSA schedule. And so this portion of the training is going to be brought to us by Ms. Jane Stewart, who is an associate director with the Ohio Apex Accelerator at Ohio University, up in the Cleveland area at Lakeland. Is it Lakeland College or Lakeland University?
Lakeland Community College.
Lakeland Community College. And so this is kind of one of her specialty areas. And I know she has lots of great information, very experienced, and she has a wealth of knowledge and expertise. And this is one of the areas. So she'll share that with you again. If you do have questions, if you can type them in the chat, and we will pose those as we go along. But I'm going to turn it over to Jane.
Thank you, Shonda.
Thank you.
Just to confirm, you are seeing my presentations on the screen?
Yes, it looks great.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I am going to cover how to get on a GSA schedule, also called a multiple award schedule, also called a federal supply schedule. I'll cover the basics, whether or not you should even consider obtaining a GSA schedule, some of the advantages and challenges, where to start, and what the proposal requirements are, and then what to expect after you receive an award. So I would like to just reiterate what Kimberly and Maya said. This is the information I have at this particular moment. The federal government is in a state of flux, so who knows what might be coming down the road in the next weeks and months. But for right now, this is what I know. So exactly what is a General Services Administration multiple award schedule? Essentially, it is an indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity contract. It is awarded in 5-year periods for up to 20 years. It's a streamlined method of acquisition, and it's sort of a pre-approval of a company's product or pricing, or product or service, and their pricing structure. It can limit competition. Not everybody is on schedule. But purchasing via GSA multiple award schedules is one way the government does their buying. It's not the only way. The opportunities that are posted on sam.gov, those are full and open competition. The GSA is just one way to do the purchasing. It is not the only way. And it does require market research, commitment, and effort to be a successful GSA holder. Does my business really need to be on GSA? Well, maybe. Has a buyer ever asked if you're on schedule? Does your competition have a schedule? Does the government even buy what you have to offer? And how does your target customer purchase? Those are all things that you can identify via market research. Is your commercial market strong? If you don't currently have a good history of sales to the general market, it will be more difficult to obtain a schedule. And once you have your schedule in place, you have to be able to sell a minimum of $25,000 annually off of your schedule. If you become a multiple award schedule contract, you'll be able to sell your products and services directly to federal agencies. You can kind of think of Amazon as as GSA as the Amazon of the government world. You get your product and services catalog posted on the GSA websites, and a buyer can go directly to that website and fill up their shopping cart and check out with a credit card, and you're done. You do have to maintain compliance with federal regulations, and you've already been vetted that your products and services are priced reasonably. So some things to think about. You have to do the market research before you dive into it. Develop a marketing plan and sales strategy. As Shonda mentioned previously, there is no guarantee that you will get any sales from your GSA schedule. It is a contracting tool. It is not a contract. You need to know who your competition is. Are your competitors already selling on GSA? If they are, maybe that is where you need to be. And most important, does your target customer use the schedules to do their purchasing? You have got to be a responsible and responsive business. That means that you have been in business successfully for at least a couple of years. The longer, the better. And you have a good, strong past performance. Again, you have to maintain your compliance with all the terms and conditions, and you cannot offer better pricing to a commercial customer once your GSA schedule pricing has been negotiated and approved. Other things to consider, there is that minimum sales requirement. You have to do at least $25,000 in sales directly off of your schedule annually. This is changing a little bit. Well, we'll get to that. There is sales reporting. On a quarterly basis, you have on all of your only your GSA sales, you have to remit the industrial funding fee back to GSA, and we'll get more into that. Your pricing is uploaded onto the GSA Advantage website, and you can update your pricing and your offer. Like I mentioned earlier, this can be a 20-year contract. You're not going to keep your pricing and your offerings stagnant for 20 years. You will be able to do modifications. You can update your pricing, add items, delete items. Those are modifications. And at least once a year, sometimes more frequently, there will be mass modifications from GSA. Those are generally changes to process or procedure or the terms, the compliance requirements. Okay, so ready, set, go. Where do we start? The place that you want to start is on the GSA roadmap. The GSA roadmap is an excellent website that GSA has created to take you step by step through the entire process. And this is what the roadmap looks like. So the first step is you have to learn and understand what you're getting into. There are a couple of trainings that are available. The first one is readiness assessment, or excuse me, Pathways to Success. Pathways to Success is a webinar for you to watch, and it is full of really, really good information. The readiness assessment, that takes you through the process of identifying where your company offerings fit on the GSA schedule, who your competition is, what companies are getting the purchases, and and you have to read the solicitation. The solicitation contains everything you need to know. It also including the instructions that are applicable to all offers. So this little Schrodinger's equation here, this is not rocket science. I can figure this stuff out. If I can do it, you can do it. And if you have questions or need help, reach out. The schedule sales query. Kimberly already covered this. This is great information, and it's part of completing the readiness assessment. Here is where you can find out how many vendors are on a particular schedule area, what their sales are, what agencies, wealth of information.
Jane,
Yes.
we do have a couple of questions. I was waiting, but we have about 3 of them.
Oh, good.
So I think this is a good, I know
Sure.
you're always up for questions. All right, one, Renee. Let me come back to that one. Matthew wants to know, is there an exception if you have not been in business for 2 years as far as getting on a GSA schedule?
There are a couple of things. One is, oh my goodness, it's the name of it is escaping me. If you're an IT company and you're offering a new technology, but you've not been in business for at least 2 years, you can go that route. If you have significant sales already in your company to the general market, you can sometimes make a case and they'll waive that 2-year period.
Hi, Jen,
Okay.
can I assist you with this question, please?
Absolutely,
Oh,
'cause I see you just typed in. Thank you for chiming in. Go ahead.
Sure, no problem. So what Jane was referring to is the Schedule 70 IT, which is fast lane. So if you have
Thank you.
IT company, you can look into fast lane. And then also we have the startup springboard program, which I put in a chat. I put the link into the chat. So the startup springboard is for companies that has less than 2 years. So if you're interested, if you're eligible for that, please look into that program. And if you have a little over 2 years, you may still be found eligible. Just check the link and follow the instructions to see if you qualify for that program.
Awesome. Thank you.
Maya.
Sure, no problem.
It takes a village.
I'm glad that they're still on, actually.
Me
Great
too.
rating. We still have a couple of more. Shalise wants to know, how often can you modify, I guess, your schedule, and is there amount of time you need to wait before requesting a modification?
Well, a lot of that is going to depend on the type of product that you're offering and your contracting officer. My experience has been, it depends. to do a price increase, you have to have updated your commercial price list. You cannot increase your GSA pricing unless you've also increased your commercial pricing. How often you can do that? At least once a year, maybe twice. It just depends on your particular contracting officer. You can lower your pricing anytime you want. You can offer, you can have a sale and have a temporary price decrease. Add product and service, delete product and service, but it's really up to the discretion of your contracting officer. So you want to make that contracting officer your new best friend and give them exactly what they want, and you'll have a much better chance of success. Does that answer your question?
Mylethi, I see you popped on screen. Did you have anything additional to add to that? Thank you, Jane.
Jane answered it perfectly. You could do administrative modifications, product deletions, product additions, economic price adjustment, EPAs. As Jane stated, certain, and they changed the criteria at one point in time. I remember it was so many you can make within a year, as Jane stated. So just make sure you contact your contracting officer, and they will let you know what type of modifications you can make at the time, and just ask them any questions you have. But just make sure that if it is such like as a price decrease, anytime if you propose a price decrease to your commercial customers, you have to provide that to the government as well. So just make sure you're in tune with your contracting officer.
Definitely. When you get your contract award, there's a pricing discount between your commercial and your GSA approved pricing. And that percentage ratio, that has to be maintained. So you can't try to just increase your GSA and not, and the commercial remains the same, things like that. Okay.
Thank you. And one more. I may see if Renee Burke. Not quite sure. I think something referring to the supplier list, why we should purchase from another vendor, then resell it. What is an example of why or when this is appropriate? Not quite sure. I think you may have started your question a little earlier. Renee Burke, if you can quickly come off mute and maybe give a little explanation to your question to make sure we get it. If it can be quickly now, or we may have to wait to the end. But Renee, are you still there? Renee Burke? Renee, if you're there, you can come off mute real quick. You had a question about, you were referring to a supplier list and a question about purchasing from other vendors and then reselling
Yes.
it.
Hi, this is Regimel. How are you?
Good. How are
Great.
you?
Well, thank you. Thank you for taking the question. I just took a few notes, and the question just arose. I wasn't sure. You mentioned maybe having a vendor supplier list, but you said there is an opportunity to resell the products, and I thought maybe I might have misheard the statement. So is that the correct way to look at it? So if I am I win an award, then when I perform the services, I should purchase products from the supplier list to perform my responsibilities according to the award. Is that what you're saying?
No. If you're awarded a contract, how you provide the products is essentially however the contract has been negotiated and awarded. to provide. I guess
Think, is it the supplier list that you're referring to? Is that the list of the approved vendors that are on the contract? Is that what that got approved on a GSA schedule? Is that, Renee, what you're?
Well, I was wondering, but just the way that it was presented in the last presentation was that there is a list that you can purchase products from and then resell it. And I wanted to see if the resale, or was it really just use it for your contract, because sometimes companies have a standard for the products that interact really well with their systems. Since this is Ohio, Apex seems to have a lot of interfaces, meaning that there is GSA, then there's the GSA e-tools, then there's Osabadu, is that how you pronounce it? And then there's a SSQ. So that was at least 4 systems just to start off with. So I didn't know if there are tools that are preferable or preferred. I guess
well,
that's a short question.
yeah, the websites that you just mentioned, those are tools to help you do business with and through GSA. I thought your question had to do about being like a distributor. If you can be a distributor and offer another company's product on your GSA schedule. But yeah, does that answer your question?
I think I can take this question offline if that's okay.
Yes, please
I
do.
think, yeah, I mean, it is a very direct question and it seems like it's a simple answer. And I think we got it kind of in the ballpark that
Okay.
we're not really purchasing product from the supplier list. It's just products that are available.
Okay. Let's talk
Is that
later.
good? Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. And I think that's it for the questions right now.
Okay.
Awesome.
So one of the first websites I encourage folks to go to that are considering a GSA schedule is the GSA e-library. This is the website where you can do some preliminary research, and if you can look for particular products or services, you can enter your competitor's company name, and you can see who's on schedule if your competitors are on schedule. It's a very good website to do that preliminary research and decide if you want to do more. Okay, so back to the GSA MAS roadmap. Here's the website, and I encourage you to really familiarize yourself with this website. When I have a GSA meeting, the first meeting, I always go through and highlight all of the various steps and what's included. Very first off, read the solicitation, please. You have got to know what you're getting yourself into. You would be amazed at how many people do not read their solicitations and then run into some trouble later on. So read it again, write down your questions, and then your local Apex can help you go through your questions. So the solicitation is found on sam.gov. Now this is an outdated link. However, when you click on it, up at the top, it'll say, click here for the most recent version. So there's one primary solicitation, and then there are 12 category-specific attachments, depending on what you're offering. there is a separate document that contains all of the FAR clauses, all of the regulations, and then there's another one called the available offerings, and that is a huge spreadsheet that identifies the large category, the subcategory, the SIN, and the SIN title. So when you're entering when you're looking at getting on a GSA schedule, first you select the large category that you fit. In this particular example, I chose security and protection. Well, security and protection covers an awful big range of products and services. So then you have to identify your subcategory. So in the example, security services. And then you identify the SIN. Oftentimes the SIN, the special item number, and you can have more than one SIN, and you don't have to go to confession. Sorry. The SIN is often the same as the NAICS code, the North American Industrial Classification Code. And then you'll see the SIN title, and you'll have a nice description of what that particular SIN includes. So once you decide that that's what you want, that a schedule is the road you want to take, then you have to figure out where you fit. All right, there's a few things that you're going to have to do. Obviously, you have to be registered at sam.gov. You have to have that cage code and your unique entity identifier, as you do for any type of federal government contracting. You'll also need to register with eOffer and FastID. eOffer is the website where you upload your offer. Everything is done electronically. You don't have to submit a binder that thick anymore. Thank you. The eOffer website is also where you will do your modifications and several other things. FastID is a two-factor identification. And then you need to identify your points of contact. These will be your authorized negotiators. Once you submit your offer, the GSA folks will only speak to the authorized negotiators. So it is very important that you have more than one. You want at least two people who are up to speed and know everything that's going on. Once you submit your offer, the contracting officer no doubt will have questions, and you'll be emailed that list of questions. You'll be given a specific amount of time to submit your response. So if you're laying on the beach in Tahiti without any internet access, somebody else in the company needs to be able to respond to the contracting officer. So here are the websites, sam.gov, GSA eOffer, the FastID. You used to have a digital certificate. You don't have to have that anymore for GSA purposes. Here's more information about the FastID. Okay, so once you get all of that those preliminary steps out of the way, you've done your pathways to success, your readiness assessment, you've done your research. So then you go get to the gathering information part. GSA provides some templates for you to utilize. The biggest template is the GSA Schedule price list. It's a huge Excel spreadsheet, and that's where you're going to list all of the items or services that you're offering, who your most favorite customer is, your commercial price list, your favorite customer pricing, and your proposed GSA pricing. If you're offering services, you're going to have to create past performance narratives. Just information about what you have done in the past that relate and how those projects relate to what you're offering on GSA. Quality control is really important. You'll have to create a quality control narrative and explain, the basics of how you ensure that your customers get the right product or service and what that process entails. So here are the templates that are part of that you have to download and complete and then upload into eOffer. The price proposal template. If you're utilizing a consultant, you have to submit the agent authorization letter. If you're using Apex to help you, you don't need it, or if you're just doing it internally. All right, my disclaimer, this is my opinion only. It does not reflect the opinions of anybody else. There are consultants that are available that will charge a fee to prepare your GSA offer. And that's fine. If that's the way you want to do it, go for it. My concern is this is a 20-year contract, potentially. It's my opinion that it is important that you know exactly what is going on with this schedule. Consultants come and go. I think it's important to own it. You're going to be doing modifications, updates, price increases, price decreases. If you're using a consultant, you're going to be married to that consultant and paying the fees to have it done. Well, enough said. You make that decision. There is a past performance questionnaire that you can send to your current customers, getting feedback on your contract performance. If you've already had government contracts, then you'll have a score in the contractor performance assessment reporting system. If you have a score in CPARS, then you don't have to do the questionnaires to your customers. The letter of supply is required if you are a distributor or reseller and you're offering another company's products. So if you're not the manufacturer, you have to have the manufacturer provide you with a letter of supply. There's a specific template that has to be on the company's letterhead. And if you have multiple suppliers, then you have to have multiple letters of supply. Okay. There are a couple of templates that are included more for reference. I like to fill things out in paper, and then that way it makes it easier to fill the information in online, but that's just me. So one of the things is the Commercial Sales Practice Template, CSP. This is where you're going to identify who your most favorite customer is, And that can be a category of customer or a specific customer. It will identify what type of discount you offer, what your shipping terms are, and what your projected annual sales are. If you're not a small business, then you'll have to have a subcontracting plan. So these are some of the category specific attachments and templates. Whoop, I'm sorry. Facilities, furniture, industrial products, etc. So remember that large category, this is what is covered in the large categories. Okay, so once you have all of your information in place, you have everything ready, then you can start putting together your offer. Some additional information that you're going to need are financial statements. You need to be able to submit 2 years profit loss. The technical proposal that is outlined in the solicitation document. If you're offering services, professional services, you need to include your professional compensation plan. If you've ever had if you've ever submitted a previous offer, or you've had a schedule previously that was rejected or eliminated, you have to include those letters that you received from GSA. Your commercial price list, you have to provide them what your commercial price list, what you charge to anybody that walks in off the streets. And then you may be required to have pricing support documentation. No, you have to have the pricing support documentation. Those are the invoices, the contract sheets, the POs, anything like that has to be included to document that you have received the pricing that you are proposing. And then sometimes you need a price narrative. If for some reason there's a discrepancy between the pricing that you're offering GSA and the pricing you give your most favorite customer, they want to know why. Okay, so the price proposal template is that giant GSA schedule, or the giant Excel sheet. I mentioned the industrial funding fee, IFF. The IFF is 0.75% that you add on top of your GSA pricing. So your customer is paying the IFF. That is reported and remitted on a quarterly basis. There are 2 separate templates, price proposal templates. There's one for products and then one for services and training. Okay, so here's the list of information. We've kind of already gone through all of those. Okay, technical proposals. Factor 1 is corporate experience. And these are the things that need to be included. How long you've been in business, employees, history. Factor 2 is your past performance. Either the past performance questionnaires or your CPARS score. Quality control. And Factor 4 is relevant project experience. And generally that is required only for services, and you have to have one narrative for every sin that you're offering. And additional information that's required in the narratives is found in the solicitation. Read those instructions over and over until you absolutely understand them. The better your offer, the quicker it will be approved. The pricing narrative is required. It helps the GSA contracting officer determine that your pricing is fair and reasonable. Okay, so finalize and submit your offer. Complete all the steps in the e-offer system. If you get started on it and you can't finish it in one sitting, all of the information will be saved in e-offer. Okay. So here's what e-offer looks like. The e-offer eMod website, this is where you're going to register for your account, prepare your offer, submit a modification, and report your sales. So similar to the GSA website, when you get in to eOffer and start submitting all of your information, you'll get, well, instead of a green check mark, you'll get a little filled in circle that indicates the different sections are complete. Okay, so very important again, the information that I have given is accurate at this particular moment. Anytime you're preparing your GSA offer, before you hit that submit button, always check for any updates. There was an update, I believe, in March. And now there's going to be another one this month sometime. The updates are referred to as a refresh. Refresh 26 is supposed to be released sometime this month. There is a draft of the changes that you can review at this link. And, that being said, I probably wouldn't try to submit an offer until after Refresh 26 has been published. Okay, so then what happens after you submit? Well, your contracting officer will review your offer. They'll make a determination of contractor responsibility, and then they will ask for clarification. And remember, you have to respond to their request for information in a very timely manner, and make sure you have two people that are always up to speed and can respond to those information requests. Once that's all over and the contracting officer has determined that you are GSA schedule worthy, then congratulations, you'll get a welcome letter from your GSA contracting officer with the instructions. So you're going to want to register with the Vendor Support Center. You are required to upload your GSA approved price list into the GSA Advantage system. You can, once you have your schedule in place, you can utilize the GSA logo on all of your marketing materials. You're going to want to put that logo on your business cards, on your website, anything and everything going out of your office. should have the GSA logo on it. You never know who's going to see it, and that can help you with your sales. Kimberly already mentioned the GSA forecast, the quarterly reporting. You're going to submit your IFF, your industrial funding fee, on a quarterly basis. Again, there are add, delete, pricing, and admin modifications that you can initiate. And then when a refresh is published, GSA will put out a mass modification that you have to accept the new terms and conditions. I'm trying to keep on time here. So if you offer medical products or services, the Department of Veterans Affairs, they operate their own version of the GSA schedule, and that's called the FSS, the Federal Supply Schedule. And here's the website for that. It's basically the same process, just managed differently. Vendor Support Center. There's a lot of good information on the Vendor Support Center. Okay, final thoughts. Always make sure you're using the most current refresh or revision. This is not a process. This is an event. It takes time to prepare your offer. Once you get your offer submitted, you go through all of that process. You have to market your schedule after it's approved. And remember, there's no guarantee of sales. This is a sales tool. Remember that. It's a sales tool. You have to market it. Please don't argue with your contracting officer. If they want something done a certain way, then you do it that way. It is imperative that you educate your sales team. There's the requirement that you cannot offer better pricing to a commercial customer than you offer your GSA. Everybody on your team needs to be aware of that. You do not want to run into those kind of problems. Again, market. It's all about marketing. Put that GSA logo on everything, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Seriously, make your contracting officer your new best friend. And also reach out to Apex. We can help you also. And now that I'm sure your brains are all scrambled up, are there any other questions, Shonda?
I don't see any questions in the chat. I know Kimberly has posted some additional links for additional resources.
Oh, good.
But are there any questions? 10 minutes left. Wonderful, Jane. It's been a while, years since I have done anything assisting small businesses with this, even showing the information. So it's always a great
lot
update.
of changes.
Lots of changes down through the years. So with that, any questions, please go ahead and put those in the chat. While somebody may be typing, because we can finalize. Thank you so much, Jane. As Shanae said, very knowledgeable information. Thank you. Matthew does have a question. Does the FSS have the same 2-year in business requirement?
Yes.
Yes. Great question.
Yeah. The requirements and the process of, doing a proposal, they're both very, very similar from the FSS to the GSA MAS. MOUSC. So many letters.
That brought back memories. I know all the acronyms and letters.
They
Again,
get
thank you.
overwhelming. Yeah, they really do get
Um,
overwhelming. But this process, it's doable. It is not rocket science. Um, I mean, I've helped, I don't know how many companies get on schedule, and I've not failed yet. My the better the offer, the more complete, the quicker it will get approved. And you might offer 50,000 products. I would say don't offer 50,000 products. Keep
Good.
your initial offer limited, and then you can do a modification later.
Great
Those are my final
suggestions,
words of wisdom.
great recommendations. So if there are no additional questions, there's Jane's contact information. Again, this is one of her specialty areas. Kimberly has posted the MASS program is also called a schedule contract or federal supply schedule. Yes. And I believe Jane said that at the beginning. Yes. So thank you for that. Again, thank you to both.
Things that are interchangeable. It really
Yes.
does get confusing.
Thanks again to Jane, and I'm grateful that we had Kimberly and Mylethia also that kicked us off, giving us more information and an overview about GSA, but then also to provide additional resources and a few answers with Jane. So we're grateful. I'm thinking of ideas like, you know what? I think maybe either later this year or next fiscal year doing another webinar with GSA and Jane and the two of you, and more kind of in depth. I know this was for the Ohio Business Matchmaker, but I had some ideas. So this was really good. And I like the interaction with both the Apex counselor and the GSA small business office. So we're just grateful that we have such wonderful resource partners and agencies that we can work with. And it's all about helping our small businesses so that you can navigate in these government contracting waters, get into doing business with the federal government, because you do need, you can do it on your own, but if you are able to utilize the resources, anytime that you want to do business with an agency, the Small Business Office or the Office of Small Disadvantaged Business Utilization, or OSDBUs, always can help you navigate. PTAC is always going to be there by your side. So those resources can help you get engaged. But we are,
Apex.
yes.
Apex. You said
What did
PTAC.
I
I still do it too.
You know what? I saw Mylethia laughing and I didn't know what she was. I used to be a PTAC counselor. I said PTAC, Apex. So if you're wondering, what is PTAC? Who is PTAC? Apex Accelerator was formerly PTAC. Now it's Apex. So forgive me.
I still do
Apex,
it too.
I didn't even catch it. So Apex Accelerator and your OSDBU offices are great resources to help you navigate within an agency, to help you navigate in the federal government contracting waters, because it's the most competitive lane of government. I always equate federal government contracting as the Olympics of federal government, as the Olympics of government contracting. It's the most competitive. So you definitely, the more resources you can have without paying,
yeah,
you want to take advantage. You want to take advantage of those. So again, thank you so much to our presenters, Kimberly, Mylethia, Jane, and then also thank you for joining today. We do have another webinar at 1 o'clock, as Joey mentioned. And then next week, I can't believe it, will be our last webinars. There'll be one in the morning on joint ventures and teaming relationships, and one in the afternoon on DoD mentor protege program, and then a mentor protege panel. And then can't believe the matchmaker will be here sooner. April 23rd and 24th, down in Dayton at the Wright State Nutter Center. Registration is still open, I believe, until the 18th. So if you haven't registered, please go to the website and register. You can attend as a small business, as a supplier. You can also be an exhibitor. But we definitely would love to meet you there. The first day of the matchmaker is a half day of training. And that will conclude also with an open networking reception. And then on the 24th, we kick off with a full day of matchmaking with the agencies. So definitely, it's always a wonderful time. We would love for you to join us. So go ahead and register. And with that said, take advantage of the remaining webinars. And again, you can access the recording link and the and the PDF slides by logging on to Ohio Business Matchmaker website, clicking on the webinar tab at the top, and then scrolling down to your actual webinar. And at the bottom of the description, you can access both of those links. Great. We'd love to see you guys in Dayton. Thank you so much, Sadgoa Galloway. But again, thank everybody for your time today and for joining us. We're looking forward to seeing you at the Matchmaker, and have a wonderful day. It's cold here in Columbus, so stay warm and join us again for another webinar. Thanks so much. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Everybody, take care.